Well, hello there. My name is HW, and thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. So, my buddy Brian just called me, and he said, HW, I just saw your video on the gear page. And I was like, oh, what video? He's like, your modeling has peaked its over video. You're really popular on the gear page. And I went, oh, really? I don't really go on the gear page much. I used to be on the gear page all the time. I used to be a really avid gear pager. Back then it was like, Harmony Central had a really low signal to noise ratio, and the gear page was kind of like the blues lawyer crowd, who made the best Dumble. But it got bigger, it got more popular, and I started doing YouTube, and honestly, I started just feeling like there was a little bit of like hostility towards creators. Like anything you did was like just really torn apart, and like people always sort of just had needlessly negative comments to say on just videos and stuff. But anyway, I haven't been on the gear page in a while, so let's see what it's like over on the gear page. Apparently there's 10 pages of comments, so I'm gonna live react to the comments on the gear page. All right, TubeSec says, it must get exhausting trying to come up with all these angles to generate views. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Fuliera Gem says, I wouldn't listen to this guy if he tried to warn me of a fire in the building. Okay, well, I'll be sure to save my breath. Bis Guy says, he is one of the reasons why I sold my Kemper. You could just not watch the channel. I didn't mean to make you sell your Kemper. Stressfest says, more clickbait from this insufferable chud. Okay, thanks, Stressfest. Appreciate it. Gavalt says, to think that dorks like this guy in the OP's linked vid play guitar makes me want to play the tuba. Well, yeah, okay. Thanks, Gavalt. 415 Guitars says, pack it in, boys. The sweaty slob has spoken. Okay, jeez, guys. Okay, thank you. Metropolis 4 said, wow, what an ugly thread this turned into. I kind of agree. Laser Vampire says, stop giving these worthless gear YouTubers clicks and attention. Okay, thank you, Laser Vampire. Seance says, aw, adorable. Look at that little baby playing peekaboo. Modeling might have peaked, but this guy has not. It's like I personally offended all these people, Pipeline Audio says, the amount of run-on clickbait Tone Junkie puts out is impressive. Well, I'm always here to impress. I did a live reaction video to one of theirs that where they managed to Deepak Chopra 5 million words for about 25 minutes, yet say absolutely nothing of substance. Okay, thanks, Pipeline. Appreciate it. Strummer Fan says, the guy just talks and talks without really saying anything, all the while his hair just screams, hit me, hit me. Well, that's just, I don't want to promote violence on the channel, okay? Phil M wrote, it is possible to disagree with someone without resorting to attacking the way they look. Sheesh. Yeah, I would agree. But again, it's the internet. I'm used to people leaving negative comments. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It used to bother me, but I don't know these people, so why would it bother me in real life? Okay, Steven at Graceland. I love this comment. I watched the episode and enjoyed it. Thank you, Steven. His argument is coherent and food for thought. That is exactly what I shoot for in these videos. It's meant to be food for thought. My only quibble to his notion of an evolving sound would be that you need to back up your sound in case your edits prove problematic. Maybe it's easy. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty easy. What he's kind of referring to is I mentioned in there how digital makes it really easy to sort of like dial in your sound at home, and then when you show up with the band, maybe there's like changes you want to make. You want to, when you get in the band context, in a mix context, you want to like lower the highs or lower the lows, maybe, shelve some low end. Maybe you want to boost the mids, upper mid range or something. And then you want to save that. And to that, I would just say if it's called my tone, your tone or something, my tone, just my tone 1, right? And that's like your main one. And then if you make some edits live, it's like my tone live, like it's easy. And then if you go back home, you're not undoing those things because you're back in a context where you're the only instrument. So you enjoy that big high end and low end and stuff. So I think that's a cool, feature of digital. Thanks, Steven. Okay, so here is a really great comment. EJ said, except for the comment on the burger place, in that video I said that In-N-Out was basically the best, a lot better than Whataburger. I agree with him. Thanks, EJ. And even if you don't, it doesn't make the vid clickbait only, so I don't get the dissing. Dude, I agree with this. If people just call everything they don't like on the internet clickbait, anything with a compelling title is now clickbait. I am talking about the subject. I am saying modeling has peaked. It's not like you go in and that's not the content of the video. That very much is the content of the video. The fact that you wanted to click just means the title's compelling. It's not clickbait. Yeah. On topic, we can't tell modelers from amps on recordings. 100% true. The same, we can't tell what amp someone's playing yet boutique amps are selling. Yeah, dude, that's totally true. So objectively, everyone can stop trying to improve sound. That's tongue-in-cheek, but hey, you got a good point there. Let's focus on cheaper, smaller units until we get a modeling brain implant for free. I love it. I love that. Rhythm Earl says, LOL at him having his high school grad photo in the background. That was actually a Father's Day gift for my kids. Hang on, I'll show it to you. It's like a depiction of me. It's like some sort of admiral or something. I thought it was cool. Thank you for noticing. Pesky says, modeling is here to stay. It'll be around long after that YouTuber is pushing up daisies. I think we agree. Modeling is here to stay. That was very much part of the video. Upper Mid says, everybody knows that the Insane channel of the Line 6 Spider 2 has been the pinnacle of modeling. It was all downhill from there. I totally agree. Max70 says, that guy has an agenda to sell more of his Kemper profiles. Add the gray matter destroying clickbait. Jeez, okay. And you have an easy recipe for generating a nauseating, face-palming, intelligence insulting feeling every time someone accidentally posts one of his videos here. Okay. Mac70, I do sell Kemper profiles. I also sell stuff for the Helix. I have a ton of stuff for the Helix, and it's hugely popular. I will tell you, it's practically outselling all my Kemper stuff. I also sell IRs, which aren't really very popular on the Kemper. They are for other modelers, so I don't actually have, I'm also a QC partner when the store launches and stuff, and the storefront launches. Tone Junkie's on the QC app there. So I actually have just as big of interest in modeling being very successful. Again, someone who didn't watch the video, because I'm not saying that like everything sucks and only the Kemper is good and modeling's terrible. That's thanks for commenting. Mike Stone said he does have some valid points despite his own interests. Thank you, Mike. I mean, I think that's true. I mean, I guess people could think of it like he wants to put down everything so that he can sell more Kemper profiles. But like I said, I have lots of other things for sale for other platforms. So, I mean, it would be just as counterproductive for me to put things down. I'm just sharing my opinion. I mean, I'm really just a guy on the internet who shares his opinion. Here's a really interesting comment. Max Brothman. What I've noticed is that his hand motions and expressions are not a million miles away from a certain politician I shall not name. That is done in front of a mirror like you are De Niro until you get it right. Guess amps and pedals aren't the only thing being copied. This comment is so obtuse. I guess he's trying to say that I remind him of Donald Trump, which, because I move my hands a lot, I mean, a lot of people talk with their hands. Look, of all the things you could make fun of me for, right? There's a monkey as my logo. My hair is obviously dyed and cut in this sort of thing. I wear floral a lot. I have all these weird sayings like Uncle Willie, and HW knows tone. It's of all the things to make fun of me for, this like weird association with like he must practice in a mirror to because he wants to be Donald Trump. Okay, thanks, Max Brothman. Cool. Okay, Dextro says, I have seen several other videos by this guy, and here's the deal. This guy sells Kemper profiles. Oh my gosh, you could literally click on any piece of my content and figure that out. That's why his whole angle on saying modeling is dead. He wants to convert people to profilers so he can sell more of his shit. That's the only reason for his video. And here we are debating all the plus and minuses about modeling. He doesn't give a crap as long as he can convince you to give up your modeler and buy a Kemper. I already said this previously. I have just as many products for sale, and Helix is a big seller of mine, like Helix tone match stuff. So I sell IRs and presets and stuff, and so it's it's just as counterproductive for me to get you to get away from a modeler. I mean, sure, buy my Kemper profiles if you'd like, if you're a Kemper fan, but there's no way I could make, there's no way a person could start going, I want to sell Kemper stuff, so let me convert people to Kemper. That's so hard to do. Like convince someone to sell what they're using now and buy a $1,500, $1,700, $1,800 piece of gear so that you can then sell them a $10 profile pack. I mean, that is the definition of hell, man. That would be a terrible business for sure. Alex One Fly said, I click through and all I learned is that there's another guy ranting about gear on YouTube that I can ignore. All right, well, thanks, Alex. Add me to your list. I'm happy to be on a list. Jive Turkey said, I kind of like this guy, and then hid behind a couch. Ejectra said, it's the hair, isn't it? I don't know. I think it makes me likable, but that's just me. Ejectra said, Weird Al knows Tone. He may be a Tone Junkie fan. He must be a Tone Junkie fan because I always say HW knows Tone. And obviously I'm a Weird Al fan, which was the previous comment. I am a Weird Al fan. Okay, Max Brothman again. You clicked and watched it. He's responding to a comment, Max70's comment, and he says, I've never seen one from him before, so decided to give it a go. He isn't wrong on what could be said in 30 seconds, but obviously learning to gesticulate from politicians who shall remain nameless is a bit worrying. Again, I think it's like fueling clickbait with adulterated meth. What are we talking about? Something about me reminds I don't know. Do I look like Donald Trump? Is it just the blonde hair? I've truly never gotten this response before. But Max Brothman seems obsessed with this nameless politician. I don't know. I've never heard this before. Wow, this is weird. Spiky says, gotta hand it to this guy. He sure stirred the pot here with this "it's over" nonsense. LOL. Hey, Spiky, I'm surprised that people really give this much thought to what I have to say. A lot of times it just feels like you're talking into a void. You know what I mean? Here was a really great comment. JDell77. Honestly, he's not wrong. Can 99% of the audience tell if you're playing through a vintage or boutique amp or a Kemper Line 6 Quan Cornea? You know, he's making fun of all the names. Nope. Do they care? Nope. Does your vintage amp at reasonable stage volume, mic'd up and run through a digital desk and fed back through your stave monitor sound much different than Kemper's Line 6? Nope. I mean, that is a lot of my point. It's that the audience can't tell. Sound quality is definitely peaked, and I would totally agree with that. He starts talking about IRs and stuff. His point about collective sound guy wisdom is spot on. Dude, that's something I just think everyone can really benefit from. If you just play enough places and listen to sound guys and let them tell you what they're doing to your tone, and if you're on digital, you have the ability to notch this out or notch that out. It's very difficult to do that with a microphone and a guitar to sort of get rid of problem frequencies without significantly changing the rest of your tone. But if you got an EQ that you can work with, you can get your tone sounding killer and like really ready to the point that you'll start showing up and sound guys will go, sounds perfect. And then you begin to ask sound guys, are you doing anything in my sound? They're like, nope, not doing anything. And that's because so many sound guys will tell you what they're doing. You eventually do it all yourself, and the sound guy just go, you fit in the mix. Especially if you play in the same band, you play in the same places. It's very easy to really get dialed in there. Very easy to hit the save button and save that with digital solutions. That's one of my favorite things about digital solutions. So Bob Zod said, I'm at 9 minutes and he's speaking my language. Tone is not my number one priority in a modeler. It's top 3 for sure, but not my number one. My number one is convenience. What Bob is saying is really true there. I think that's a big reason digital adoption is happening in such a big wave right now. I point this out in the video. If tone is the only thing you're after and you've got a bunch of roadies and stuff and like just a ton of resources, of course you're going to build like a giant rig. But for a lot of people, fly dates and stuff, the industry has changed. Like with fly dates, it's a lot harder to make money selling music. It's almost impossible now with streaming what it is and how much it pays and stuff. So basically you're going to end up having to make a lot more money on the road and playing on people's records and stuff. I live in Nashville. I have a bunch of friends in the music industry. I used to do a little music just on the side, gigs and stuff with friends and indie artists and stuff. And, there's a lot more fly dates. Very few people are still playing stadium tours, you know what I mean? And so, digital is a lot of times just more reliable than a backline amp, which may or may not have been serviced recently, may or may not work that well. And so a lot of people find that that's just an easier way to go in some situations. Crisps and Witch said, I feel quite conflicted about Tone Junkie. They give a lot of great stuff away, and I've learned a lot of useful tips, but HW clearly loves the sound of his own voice even more than the tones from the KPA. They make some excellent profiles, though. I just feel like these waffling clickbait videos do nothing for the brand. Hey, man, I gotta be honest, I don't, that one actually, thank you for that, man. Thank you for the feedback, sincerely. Sometimes I'm just trying to make food for thought videos. I don't know, maybe they're not that helpful. You know what I mean? So I appreciate the feedback. That's an honest comment. I take that to heart. I appreciate you watching the channel. I give no credence to the people who just make fun of me or something. I mean, whatever. It's funny. I love a good joke. But I appreciate that, man. That's good feedback. All right, well, thank you to everyone who commented on the gear page. These are just some of the highlights of the 10 plus pages of comments that are up there right now. And the conversation is still going. It's really flattering. I think what I've learned today is some people take very seriously what others are saying on the internet, which I would advise against. Will I be hanging out on the gear page after this? No, probably not. Although I do see that there are a good number of Tone Junkie fans there, and it looks like the digital modeling section of the site has really taken off. When I was there, nobody was really on it. They were talking about, sometimes like the DL4 was like the only thing they were talking about in the modeling section and stuff. There really wasn't much being discussed. So it's nice to see the site has grown and stuff. It seems like there's a lot of name calling and stuff. And, but I appreciate some of the people that, there was one or two pieces of really good feedback that I'll take to heart. Very much appreciated, dudes. I have been HW. Thanks so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. HW, out.